Why did Tom Marvolo Riddle buy his diary at a Muggle shop? Hey brother, the diary. Voldemort's first Horcrux ever made, with the death of Moaning Myrtle in the girls' bathroom just outside of the Chamber of Secrets. It's really pretty unique amongst the rest of his Horcruxes for several reasons. First of all, unlike the rest of them, the diary was intended to be used as a weapon. Voldemort designed it for someone else to read it and then open the Chamber of Secrets and purge the school from Muggleborns. Which meant that his usual brand of deadly protections around his Horcruxes was not in place, and it could be handled, read, and written in without dying. I guess, eventually it does almost kill Ginny. Make no mistake, it is a very dangerous object, but unlike the ring or something, it's not about to kill you for just putting it on. But the diary also stands out from his other Horcruxes in that it's not treasure. Instead, it's a very mundane, not even magical diary that was never owned by anyone important. It was just a regular black leather book bought at a Muggle shop. Next to the cup and the locket and the diadem and the ring, artifacts of immense historical value and intrigue, loaded with magical powers and famous owners, the diary stands out like a sore thumb. So what gives Big V? Why did you, the pure-blood manic tyrant, use a boring Muggle shop diary to prove that you were the heir of Salazar Slytherin? It just seems like a really odd choice to get the job done, if you ask me. But I think that we have solved this very tiny mystery, and today we get to the bottom of it. Hey, brother! Alright, before we dive into today's video, we need to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, BetterHelp. Here's the thing. Diaries aren't just for Dark Lords. In fact, they're barely for Dark Lords, but more on that in just a minute. They are, however, highly useful objects for keeping good tabs on, well, yourself, your emotions, and your well-being. Journals, for me, are something I've always been aware of, but it wasn't until my therapist recommended it that I really started making it a priority, and I'm amazed at how useful it can be to go back and see how I was feeling days, weeks, months, even years ago. It is fascinating when you've been feeling down and then you read something from 4 months ago and you're like, I've been feeling down this whole time. And therapy in some ways can be like having a journal, somewhere you can go to get that emotional release of explaining how you're feeling. Heck, there's even someone who can, write back, except, and I cannot stress this enough, they are licensed professionals and 1000% not Dark Lords. These people are trained to see patterns of behaviors that you might be falling into that can be hard to see when you're, well, you. Plus, they have the added benefit of providing useful feedback and guidance, and when necessary, remind you how far you've come. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/super today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/super. Link is in the description down below. And now, back to the video. Okay, so let's start right when Harry first picks up the diary after finding it in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. Harry turned to the back cover of the book and saw the printed name of a variety store on Vauxhall Road, London. He must have been Muggle-born, said Harry thoughtfully, to have bought a diary from Vauxhall Road. Now, more than anything, it feels like this line is in here to throw you off the scent and make you think that there is simply no way that this is Voldemort's diary. And to be fair, it does a pretty good job of doing exactly that, but also, it is Voldemort's diary. And we never get any explanation for why he bought it from a Muggle shop on Vauxhall Road, or chose it to become one of his Horcruxes. Even if there was just one sentence that said Wolves Orphanage, where Voldemort grew up, was on Vauxhall Road, that would have been enough for me. If you told me that poor little Tom Riddle had very little money, but once a year they took the orphans out shopping and he chose with that small amount to buy a diary, that would have been good enough for me, but that line does not exist. And so we had to wonder. And we weren't alone, because Harry himself is confused why Voldemort would choose such a mundane object. In fact, here's what Dumbledore says when Harry brings up this exact point. The diary wasn't that special. The diary, as you have said yourself, was proof that he was the heir of Slytherin. I am sure that Voldemort considered it of stupendous importance. That answer ends up being good enough for Harry, but I'll tell you what, it is not good enough for me, because if Harry had thought about it for like, 2 more seconds, he might have realized several apparent problems with that explanation. First of all, doesn't the locket prove that Voldemort is Slytherin's heir? Like, why would he also need the diary to do that? Because when he made the diary, he didn't have the locket yet. Okay, fine, that's true. But at that point, he did know of the locket. Because remember earlier in this video when I said, the diary, Voldemort's first Horcrux? Cut to replay. The diary, Voldemort's first Horcrux ever made, with the death of Moaning Myrtle in the girls' bathroom just outside of the Chamber of Secrets. Well, that was a trap, and if you already left a comment saying, didn't you say it was his second Horcrux? Yes, we did. There's a whole video about it right here somewhere up on the top. But if you already left a comment about it, you have to go apologize now. Those are the rules. Either way, no, the diary is not his first Horcrux. The first one he makes is actually the ring. And here's how it goes when he gets the ring from his uncle. Riddle came back. Oh, he left her and serve her right, marrying filth, said Morphin, spitting on the floor again. Robbed us, mine, before she ran off. Where's the locket? Hey, where's Slytherin's locket? Voldemort did not answer. So, even though he doesn't have it yet, he does know about the locket and clearly plans on finding it because, well, we know he does find it. Also, like, not for nothing, but it's always been our theory here at SCB that Salazar Slytherin himself used the locket to hide information about how to get into the Chamber of Secrets. So that would really mean you don't need the diary. But again, I guess he didn't have the locket yet, and that's just our theory. But I'm just saying, Voldemort must have felt so dumb when he got the locket. Like, oh, I made this proof that I'm the heir of Slytherin, and then, this is so much cooler. Lucius, you want this? Do you remember that old book of yours you lent me? Either way, on the same day he learns about the locket, he takes the ring from Morphin. And it wasn't Slytherin's, to be fair, but it was a family heirloom, and his family is Slytherin, so it feels like he has enough to prove he's Slytherin's heir without resorting to a Muggle diary. But either way, Dumbledore kind of goes on to undercut his own argument just a few minutes later in that same conversation with Harry when he talks about Nagini. As we know, he failed. After an interval of some years, however, he used Nagini to kill an old Muggle man, and it might have occurred to him then to turn her into his last Horcrux. She underlines the Slytherin connection, which enhances Lord Voldemort's mystique. And you guys know how much Voldemort loves mystique, right? But like, do you see what I'm getting at there? Because when Voldemort turns Nagini into a Horcrux, he has not yet learned from Lucius that the diary was destroyed. So why would he need to underline the Slytherin connection again? At that point, from his point of view, he already has the diary proving his heir and the locket, which literally proves he's the heir. Like, if that's your reasoning, fine, but it makes your reasoning for Nagini wrong. Like, if you already have proof that you're the heir of Slytherin and master of a much more giant and impressive snake, why do you need Nagini to prove that you're Slytherin? But here's the real problem with Dumbledore's reasoning, because even if you want to set all of that aside, I still don't understand how the diary is proof that he's the heir of Slytherin. Like, it may be proof that he successfully found the chamber, but you know what? So did Harry. Let's say I find Blackbeard's long-lost pirate treasure. If I leave behind a diary that says where I found it, it doesn't mean I'm Blackbeard's descendant. I mean, obviously, I am descendant of the other pirate king, Black Stash. So, I wish he had more treasure. But also, actually, in this particular situation, we're just going on Dumbledore's assertion as to why the diary may have been important to Tom Riddle. And it seems like Dumbledore's reasoning is like, well, we know it must be important because he did end up using it as a Horcrux, so we just have to reach for whatever the best available explanation is, and that's what he's doing. And while that kind of reasoning usually works out for Dumbledore, I think this is one of the rare instances where he's just missing a far more plausible reason, because even if you want to put aside literally everything we've said so far, there's just like a way way more obvious explanation. Tom Riddle never bought that diary at all and never intended to use it as a Horcrux. Instead, Myrtle Warren bought the diary, and after being surprise discovered in the bathroom by Tom Riddle as he was exiting the Chamber of Secrets, got murdered. Because that's the thing. Myrtle is hiding in the bathroom because she's being bullied about her glossies.
I'd hidden because Olive Cornby was teasing me about my glossies.
She is not hiding from Tom Riddle, nor does Tom even seek her out. It's Myrtle who opens the stall door to tell him to
go away.
So Tom, not expecting to kill someone in that moment and noticing a possible incriminating piece of evidence, steals the diary and turns it into his second Horcrux. Because think about it, like Harry says it himself, Riddle must have been Muggle-born to have bought the diary on Vauxhall Road. But this is obviously incorrect. Tom is a half-blood. But guess what? Moaning Myrtle was Muggle-born. Plus, consider this, young Tom Riddle and older Voldemort like stealing trophies from other people to commemorate their worst deeds. I hope you are not too sleepy to pay attention to this, Harry. The young Tom Riddle liked to collect trophies. You saw the box of stolen articles he had hidden in his room. These were taken from his victims of his bullying behavior. Souvenirs, if you will, of particularly unpleasant bits of magic. Bear in mind this magpie-like tendency, for this particularly will be important later. How did he get the ring? Attacked his uncle and stole it. How did he get the cup and locket? He attacked a woman, Hepzibah Smith, and stole them. So let me ask you this. Does buying a diary sound like a trophy? No. Does stealing one from a girl you just killed? Yes. Does keeping a diary sound like something the young, charming superstar wizard Tom Riddle would do? Does he keep doing it afterwards in a new diary? Does Voldemort have a diary? No! On the other hand, Myrtle is a ghost who comes back not to haunt Tom Riddle for killing her, but to haunt Olive Hornby for making fun of her glossies. So call me crazy, but doesn't it seem more likely that someone who keeps grudges like that might keep a diary to record them all in?
50 points if it goes through her head.
And that's not just Myrtle, that's like a trope in the story, like, oh, do we know anyone else who keeps a grudge?
Mr. Potter, our new celebrity.
Mr. Potter, our new celebrity. Oh, that's right, Snape. And gosh, did Snape just, I don't know, have like a book lying around with all of his notes in it? Oh,
I'm the half-blood prince.
But Jay, I hear you saying, what about Tom's name on the outside of the diary? Fair point, and one, magic. But two, this is actually only a movie thing. In the books, Tom has simply written his name on the inside, and the outside of it is just all black. So, not a problem. Harry saw at once that it was a diary, and the faded year on the cover told him it was 50 years old. He opened it eagerly. On the first page, he could just make out the name, T.M. Riddle, in smudged ink. So here's what happened. Tom Riddle accidentally encountered Moaning Myrtle with the basilisk and kills her on discovery. As per his custom, he collects her dropped diary to use as the token of her death. A diary that she, Moaning Myrtle, purchased on Vauxhall Road because she, not Tom, is a Muggle-born. Mic drop. Yeah. Put that in your toilet and flush it. Myrtle? I don't know. The other thing that makes this even better is that it means when Ginny throws the diary in the toilet and makes her flood the bathroom, and then Harry and Ron come in and she's like, someone threw a book through my head. It would mean that it was her book and she didn't even realize, which I think is funny. 50 points if you get it through her head. That's 1 point for every year it's been separated from her. Guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to leave a like on it if you haven't already, and subscribe so you don't miss any future Harry Potter action from us. If you want proof that the ring was Voldemort's first Horcrux, you can check out this video right here. But otherwise, until next time, Ben, I will see you in another life, brother.